Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On today's episode, we're covering part 2 of Gerard the Hangman Schaefer.
Oh, what's going to happen to this poor guy? I wonder if it'll end or involve anything with stepmom porn.
All I know, speaking of stepmom porn, there is the wearing of women's underwear.
There is some
and
of
the
that.
selling and buying of women's underwear.
And the ask for the sending of the receipt of women's underwear.
Did you say the scent of or the sending?
Ooh, both.
Either or,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah, so we get into part 2 of this, a little bit about the crimes and the aftermath. So we hope you enjoy it. And speaking of that, if you're enjoying the show, leave that 5-star rating. Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you're listening. And sit back, relax, and enjoy part 2 of The Hangman.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor.
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right.
Hey, this is Dave,
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
where every week we cover a true crime.
Murder.
Or compelling story.
So sit back.
Relax.
And comprehend.
Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back down to the Old Dirty Basement. I am Matt. With me always is Dave and Zap. Hello, gentlemen.
How's it going?
How are ya?
Very good, very good. I think we're trying something new here, right?
Yeah.
Are we going into the second part?
Yeah, part 2.
Part 2 of John Gerard Schaefer.
Sometimes the story is that good, you just got to keep on going.
Yeah, you got to break it into 2.
All right.
I know when we started this new format, I got a lot of feedback.
What are you doing for me?
A format? Yeah,
Ooh,
right.
I
Good
like
one,
what you
good
did
one.
there.
I like that. I like that. When I told people about, hey, we're going to go to one a week on Old Dirty Basement. Oh, man, I look forward to, one Monday, one Thursday, one Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So what we decided to do is maybe give you a little bit shorter episode, but give you 2 of them.
Yeah.
So it's still,
It's quality.
quality.
Besides, do you want to, now think about this. Do you want to have like a 2-hour podcast that you got to sit there and hump and hope your way through, pause it and stop it? And you know full well you're not going to get through it all in one sitting.
Right.
This way,
Smart.
yeah.
This is like a ride to work, and
Yeah.
then you finish on the way back home.
Right.
And you're like, wow. And then you have it coming up in another day or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a couple people have, they were having come aparts.
Withdrawal.
Yeah. Only one a week. You're killing me, Zap.
I know.
Okay. I'll see what I can do for you.
So we're going to make it happen. Yeah. So part 2 of this Gerard Schaefer.
Yeah,
Or
Gerard.
John Schaefer.
Gerard John Schaefer. We'll just call him Jerry Schaefer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We went through this guy. We went through his early life. We went into his first marriage. We went into his failed attempts at being a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He swindled his way and falsified his way into the police academy.
Right.
He ended up getting fired for pulling chicks over and digging up their
Asking for numbers
Yeah.
for dates.
their info.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's like when they were security guards in the Friday After Next. You can't park here unless you give me the number.
Well, that happens, I think, more often than not. There was in a town around here. It's in the middle of towns. There was cops that would show up. I think he showed up at this young lady's, like, her address.
Bad
Actually,
lieutenant?
yeah. After like pulling her over and was saying, hey, like trying to start a relationship with her.
I was just in the news recently too. I saw something about a guy, officer pulling over this girl and was like groping her and and they had the dash cam on and so everything was there that you could see. Like this guy pulled her over and basically let her go, but was like feeling her up. You know what I mean?
I think they need to call a lady officer for that, or like now I don't think a male.
Maybe now. I'm just reminded of
Yeah.
a scene from Super Troopers when
Yeah, it's a good one.
when he does that when
That was the guy and girl in the
it's not Rabbit, it's one of the other guys, and he
Yeah.
pulls over the 2
foreigners.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so good.
That's
Jesus
a good movie.
Christ.
Super Troopers. I forgot about that.
So good. So
These snozberries taste like snozberries.
I ate the whole bag. All right, let's see. Oh, so he he was getting fired from the one job for cyber stalking the way they used to back in the 70s. Got another job with the Martin County Sheriff's Department.
So we leave off at, I think, Martin County Sheriff.
Yep. He became a deputy with the Martin County Sheriff's Department.
Right.
And couldn't become a priest. They kicked him out of that.
Yeah.
He
Oh, that's
wanted to
right.
become a priest. And
That's right.
That did not happen.
You know, they still do that. They're not just begging and borrowing for anybody.
No, yeah, you got to be,
Yeah.
selective.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no, I think you go through like a bunch of,
Yeah.
like there's some hoops.
Yeah.
There's some hoops.
Big hoops.
yep.
Remember, did your priest take you on the field trip, or was that Mount St. Mary's? Did you guys have to go
well,
there?
I did that in high school.
To the seminary.
Yeah.
So did we go to Mount St. Mary's?
Wasn't it Mount St. Mary's?
I did. I remember going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then if you went there, then I went on two.
Mhm.
I went to Mount St. Mary's for sure. And then I also went to St. Charles Borromeo, which is out in the Philly area. That was like a separate little...
Did you do that in grade school?
No, that was high school as well.
Okay. I think we went to one in grade school and one in high school. I think St. Charles, the Borromeo, was the one in grade school. I think that was in 7th or 8th grade. 8th grade. And then, yeah.
Mount St. Mary's was like 11th grade or 12th grade.
But I remember going, like, the priests were all acting cool. Like, they're out there, like, playing badminton and stuff.
Like trying to
Like, at the gym.
being hip and stuff.
Dude, I remember being a kid and going over to so my mom played organ at the church, right?
Mhm.
So I remember I was at the church like all the time. All the time I was at church. And I remember one time I saw our pastor without his rope, without his, black
gear on.
without the
Yeah.
gear. So he didn't have the collar, he didn't have the whatever. He wasn't wearing all black with just that little white square
Right.
by his fucking trach.
Yeah.
Like he was just wearing a t-shirt or some shit.
Oh.
And I was like,
Thought he had like a tracksuit on or something.
dude, like I was afraid. I was like nervous. Like I was like, Ma, what is he allowed to do that? Like what's going on here?
He was, like, off duty.
Are they allowed to though? I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course they're allowed to. I just had never seen it before.
I don't know that I've ever seen like a priest outside of the black slacks and the, you know what I
Right.
mean?
It's rare for
Yeah.
sure.
Wonder if they just have, like black shorts and, like, a black T-shirt. The black T-shirt has, like, the
Like a
collar.
white
Right.
thing up top. Yeah. Nike swoosh there.
Nike swoosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
That'd be
Would be cool.
great.
We should start our own line of, like, priest clothes, like,
Yeah.
for the active wear for
Right.
priests.
Active priest wear.
Like
Yeah.
an Under Armour, but like,
Yeah,
Mm.
under what's that thing called? Shoot, I messed it up. Under what do they wear?
cloak,
The robes. What's
the
the robe?
robes. Oh,
Undervestment.
Undervestments.
Undervestment.
Undervestments,
UV.
UV. Yeah, that's a good idea. You should come out with that.
Undervestments gear.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yes.
All right. Let's hit the
You
horn.
can do it.
We got to hit the horn.
Let's
on
get
that
back
one.
into
How
it.
about under altar?
Oh no. That's getting now you're
Yeah,
alluding.
you're getting a little
That might be
You're
taken
hitting
a
yeah.
bad way.
Yeah, you're hitting below the belt there.
Yeah, I didn't mean it that
in
way.
more
I
ways
just-
than one. Yeah.
Mm.
I was just thinking rhymes with armor, kind of.
Under altar.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Picking up where we last left off, nothing lasts forever. On July 21st, 1972, Schaefer, while on the clock as a policeman, came upon Nancy Trotter and Pamela Wells, who were hitchhiking. He picked them up, took them to where they'd wanted to go, and offered to take them to the beach the next day. Now, how does that work? Right? So this guy just picks these up. So he's in uniform. This is a cop picking up two chicks. They're from obviously not around there.
Right.
And as they're conversing or doing whatever, he's like, look, man, you can't, you shouldn't be hitchhiking. This is some bad stuff. You shouldn't be doing this. Tell you what, for your safety, I'll come back tomorrow and I'll take you to the beach. Is that how that goes down?
I think
Yeah,
that's
I
what,
think-
he invited him to go to a different place. I think
well,
he
he-
offered the next day for a different type of beach. Or
He picked them up for hitchhiking.
well, yeah, and he kind of scared him a little
Scared
bit.
him,
And
like,
said,
hey,
you know,
I'm
there's bad people.
But he treated them almost like in a friendly way. Now, they were 17 and 18 at the time when this happened. So he kind of like picked them up and, hey, you guys shouldn't be hitchhiking, and kind of befriended them and took them back to where they were staying and stuff.
Yeah, he
But-
said, I can take you back, no problem. I'd rather do it so you be safe than somebody come out here and hurt you.
So this Pamela Wells, I have a little bit about her. Like, she was 18, I guess, at the time, or 17 or 18. So I have some stuff about her in high school. So she was stalked by this Scott Howard in high school. She went to Beacon Town High School, and she dated this Mitch McAllister. He was a member of the Dragon basketball team.
Okay.
And after Scott went through some changes, quote unquote, in high school, she showed some interest in Scott. She even started to play with him about the Civil War and stuff, this Pamela Wells. And then ultimately, though, Pamela was devastated to find out that this newly popular Scott was interested in a girl named Booth.
Boof.
Yeah. So she then wanted nothing to do with her 25-year-old high school boyfriend, Mitch. after the Dragons lost a heartbreaker to Scott and his Beacon Town Beavers. So yeah, so that Pamela Wells, the connection is that was the girl from Teen Wolf. That was the blonde
I think
name.
we get that.
Yeah. But I don't know if it was the same one. It might have been a different Pamela Wells. Yeah.
She's a little older, I think. This Pamela.
No, they would have been about the same age.
Oh, okay.
If you figure she was in high school.
You son of a bitch.
Nah. But that's why I saw when we were looking at sources and stuff, some have it as Paula Wells and some have it as Pamela Wells. When I saw that name, Pamela Wells, I'm like, I know that name. And then it dawned on me. It's from Teen Wolf.
You had me.
Pamela.
It totally makes sense. She probably ran away from home after that. And
Shit, man.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boyfriend turned into a big hairy animal.
Yes, her 25-year-old high school boyfriend, Mitch.
Yeah.
From Teen Wolf.
The Dragons.
Yeah, the Dragons. I didn't know that was Beacon Town High School, though. Teen Wolf. That's the name of it. The Beacon Town Beavers, yep.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Is that in California, I guess?
I don't know.
That town looked very Midwestern.
Midwestern, like a hardware store. And
yeah. Very towny. All right, so he does this thing with these chicks, picks them up, says he'll be back the next day. Shows up the next day in civilian clothes.
In the police car, mind you.
In the police car.
Mm-hmm.
Picked them up and went anywhere but the beach they'd wanted to go to.
Like I said, he actually befriended them that first day, so they thought he was kind of a nice guy.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And is this one of those secret agent man things? I'm thinking he might, if he shows up the next day in his cop car but in civilian clothes, was this like, oh, hey, man, no, like I'm undercover. I'm doing a thing.
I think he was just saying, hey, I had the day off. I'm going to take you and show you. I think he was saying there was this old Spanish fort that was something cool for them to go see.
Well, he told them, like, they wanted to go back to that beach or where they're looking to go. And he said, look, if you're going to go, don't hitchhike. I'll take you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll come get you tomorrow, and trying to be a nice guy. He said, but do not tell anybody where you're going.
He was saying, I'm off, my wife's working today, or saying he was a family man type thing.
He kept reiterating, don't tell anybody, where you're going. Just, I'll take care of it. I'll pick you up and get you where you need to go. You can't be hitchhiking. And he kept trying to make it sound like he was the good guy. Just looking out for you,
Well, anywhere but the beach is right. Instead, he took them to an old shed in the forest where he then gagged and handcuffed them. Now, both these girls were then individually tied to trees at their legs, and both had nooses placed around their necks. Now, the way I read this further, or the more I've seen with this guy, he was doing the worst possible bad kind of edging.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm correct. So with their legs tied, at least so they couldn't get away, and they're still handcuffed.
Mm-hmm.
He has them hanging by a noose, but they're also like standing on their tiptoes on roots. Like, so the higher they can step, the more it will
loosen.
Yeah, alleviate the stress on their necks from the noose. So if they let go with their feet, like if they bend their heels and they like put their toes up or whatever, they would be like hanging off the ground.
Right.
So they were that's how I got this.
Yeah, they were like those big branches you see in those trees in the Everglades that they're like in the water, but the branches are like sticking.
I forget the name of them. Mangroves.
Is that what they call them?
Yes.
And that's what he put, them on there. So they were kind of like slippery too, because it's the water's right there.
So did he have all this stuff like in the trunk? Was he like his little?
He's a cop, so he had handcuffs.
Handcuffs, but then like the ropes and stuff had to been done beforehand.
Yeah, he supposedly had them like about 50 yards apart, and he had them both tied up. So far enough that they could kind of hear each other's screams, but they couldn't see each other. And they said the one girl, not to give away anything, but let's just say one of them survived. Maybe both of them. I don't know. Maybe both. I don't know. But the one said how his whole demeanor changed as they got closer to where they were going. Like they went down a dirt road, and she's like, "Wait a minute, where are we going here?" And then he just kind of switched. Like a switch went off, and he was like turned into like a total ass. It was just being mean and shit. It was
You're in the jungle, baby.
Yeah.
You gonna die?
Yep.
Well, so while all this is going on, and he's threatening them and doing whatever the hell else, Schaefer all of a sudden gets a call to report to the police station, and he ends up leaving the girls. But in the meantime, he tells them he's going to meet with a guy. He was going to whom he was going to sell.
Yeah, slaves.
These girls. Yeah.
Sex slaves.
Sex slaves, yeah.
So this dude goes to the station, returns to where the girls are 2 hours later, but they're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone.
The one girl, they started biting through like the ropes and like yelling for each other. And the one girl heard the other girl screaming, but she thought it was some sort of trap.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't go back to her. So I guess she swam through like some of the ocean water with like her hands tied.
Handcuffed.
Yes.
Which is...
Is this in here?
No, it's definitely for sure. So
okay.
Panicked. Old Schaefer radios into the station. So I'd be pretty fucking scared if I'm a cop and I had these two girls tied up and now they're not there.
Right.
So this dude radios into the station and tells his boss, the sheriff,
I've been a bad man.
some cockamamie story about having picked up these two girls for hitchhiking. He wanted to teach them a lesson about the dangers of hitchhiking. But that lesson may have gone too far.
Yeah, the guy was
including the part about tying them up.
Right.
But I didn't understand, even if you got the call, like I don't understand how you're he's done this so many other times, or maybe he just didn't have the time to enjoy himself, but why would you give them the opportunity or somebody to come and find them like that? Like when
he
you
had to
just
get to work, I guess.
wouldn't you just kill them then, like hide
he wanted
them?
to have more fun with them when he got back. You know,
Yeah,
that's probably not
but
his MO.
It's not his MO.
I'm with you, Matt. And that makes sense. Look, I got to go to work, but there's no chance I want to risk
you getting away.
my ability
Getting away, somebody finding you,
of doing
then I'm
this.
done.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to risk my chances of never being able to do this again. So fuck it. I'm going to cut my losses, kill you both right now. I'm
be
going to
back
go do my
later.
job,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to come back to clean up.
But
That would have been the smart play.
yeah, it didn't make any sense. If he was that hardened of a killer, I didn't see the mind of him at this point. Where even if he got the call, that's where it's like, shit. All right, well, sorry, you know.
Maybe he was at that point where a lot of these killers get where they're late. They're like, fuck it. I'm just going to get caught. Like, I'm just going to start taking risks, and I'm tired and I'm like sick of doing this, and just like, fuck it. You know, I don't know. Just
I don't understand how you go through that whole thing with making the noose and putting them on the mangroves there. They're like balancing, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'll just leave you here. I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
Yeah, he was just doing his thing, and he was probably like, I'm not done with him, and I don't want to let him go, and I don't want to kill him yet. And if I get caught, I get caught. Maybe at this point he's like tired and like, fuck it.
It could be the scale. Like what's most important to him? A, the murder, B, the torture, or C, the cognizant mindset of I want to be able to do this again.
Yeah.
And I think the torture was the biggest weight on his scale. He's like, fuck, man, I got these guys ready to go, man. I don't want to risk, I don't want to let them go. I want to come back and torture them more. So,
and he had it, yeah, and in a way, because it came so easy to him. He didn't really have to try this time. I mean, they were right there. I mean, he was like, this is
so easy.
So easy.
So he tells the sheriff the story. The sheriff and a lieutenant from the police station make their way to the location where he said these girls were. Now, on their way, they find one of the girls, Nancy, still with a gag around her mouth and her hands still tied, swimming only with her legs down a nearby river. So that's just like basically like, I don't know, you're just the front of your body's just like a floaty and you're just kicking with your legs.
They said she was kind of an experienced swimmer, I guess, in Florida. And they also said she was stung by jellyfish a couple times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
So she was just getting, like she's just having a bad day.
Bad fucking day. Jesus Christ. Now, in the meantime, the other girl, Pamela, had been picked up by a truck driver and taken to the police station. So this explains so much what you said about they were like 50 yards apart, but out of sight of one another. Yeah, because dude, why didn't you stay together? Or did they maybe agree like, okay, hey, look, you go this way, I'll go that way. We'll cross our fingers and hope for the best.
The one girl said, I forget which one, was like while he was tying up the one girl and like doing shit to her, torturing her a little bit. I guess he was doing a little bit of that shit. Like she had a chance to run away. Like she could have got away, but
she was just standing there, but so scared,
standing there with like fear. And then the one girl that they were kind of talking about, like her testimony or like her recount of the day when she did get free, she figured I can either go over there and try to save her, but then I might get caught myself. So let me go get help. And, at this point, I just got to try to go get help because I don't want to get tied up again. So it was one of them things where she just made made a decision to not confront him and, try to get help. But
so it wasn't like afterwards one of the girls said to the other girl, wait a second, that's fucked up. You got out and you ran away and you didn't come get me?
Right.
Well, they said that, I don't know if we will allude to it later or whatever, but they said Schaefer was saying about the two women thing, how when that...
He likes two.
Yeah, the two are better than one, but he also said like how quickly like the other woman would be to like, you should kill her first. Like,
Yeah, give them up. Yeah,
yeah.
just like,
They try to turn on each other. He said, you would think that they're like, no, take me. He said, no, it's not like that at all.
Yeah, these girls didn't really know each other that long either.
Dang.
So it was I think it was like fight or flight, man. They were like, if I can get out, I get out. I ain't going back there.
That's so great. That's so no, kill her first.
I'm good.
God
I just
damn.
But he's saying, yeah, when it's like time, he was saying like you'll see how quickly like a person would turn on a person. Like no. Like please, I have this. Please, like not me.
When it comes to life or death,
which I think anybody would be. I mean, think of that. I don't know. You can't even fathom.
I picture that one girl when she runs up because she went down and like flagged down a truck driver or a truck, and I just picture her, like the Fratellis pulling up.
Yeah.
Like she thinks she's getting away.
And the truck driver's like, this is my lucky day.
Yeah, right.
It's like
or
some hick dude.
If it'd be Ben Rhodes, like the truck stop killer, you know, what I mean? One of them deals.
Ben Rhodes like, what?
Like, yeah, you just have like the worst day ever.
It's like everything's coming up Ben today.
They say you pass a serial killer 36 times in your life or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, or it was some kind of weird stat like that.
From an old true crime that we did.
Yeah.
Well, Schaefer's story of going too far in his lessons on hitchhiking was immediately deemed to be bullshit.
Really?
Immediately.
How?
I guess it must have been because of discovering two chicks, one dropped off by a truck driver,
Right.
which, P.S., didn't we just learn a really big fucking lesson about the dangers of hitchhiking?
Oh yeah.
And you just went hitchhiking again?
Yeah.
Mm.
You're right. Yeah.
So Schaefer was immediately dismissed from his job and simultaneously arrested for false imprisonment and aggravated assault.
I like how you said immediately dismissed from his job. Like they were like, I'm sorry, you're no longer gainfully employed.
Yeah, you're out.
Agency.
You are fucking out. There's no probation on this one. There's not going to be a committee. You're fucking out.
Wouldn't it be funny if like he did start like the whole Scared Straight program, like featuring Officer John Gerard Schaefer? Like kids are bad, like you pick them up and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like, look, I just wanted to teach these kids a lesson.
Don't
that
hitchhike.
they'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Look, when even a cop will attempt to murder you, this is why you don't hitchhike.
Yes, you don't do it.
Yep.
Well, Schaefer posted bail 2 weeks later during the first week of August 1972, and his trial was then set for November of that same year.
That turns out to be huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
So let's see. Again, he posted bail 2 weeks later, first week of August. His trial was set for 2 months later. So he had September, 3 months later.
3 months.
3 months later. All right. Interestingly enough, on August 11th, 1972, a guy by the name of Leonard Massar went missing. On January 3rd of the following year, his body was discovered buried close to where Schaefer had bound and threatened Nancy and Pamela. Coincidence?
A male?
A male, which was not his style.
No.
No.
Dahmer was in Florida back then.
Yeah, he was.
Well, I don't know in the 70s, though. That would have been in the
Was he?
maybe 80s.
He might have been in high school back then.
Might have been.
So that's another one of the alleged. I don't think you go that far from your MO. You don't steer like that.
If he got in his way or something like that, or was somehow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? What I do know is, so that was August 11th. On August 31st, Elizabeth Wilt, who was visiting Miami Beach, was reported missing. Her body has never been found.
I was thinking the Florida mangroves, or the out in the Florida and the Everglades. Like it's pretty easy to get rid of bodies out there. They say with like the amount of like the bugs,
Well, he made a comment. Let me find it here.
What are those? The alligators, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what he was going to say. He made a comment.
Like things disappear quite easily there.
This was from a current affair in January of '92, I believe it was. Exactly, current affair. He made a comment, if you take a body to the Everglades, it's alligator meat by the morning. So basically, like, a lot of these bodies just get eaten.
That's awesome.
Bones and everything, you know.
This is good to know.
Yeah.
See, Dexter did it different. I would take it to the Everglades. He just went to the ocean.
Ocean and dump them.
Yeah.
That's TV.
Yeah, it's not true.
Yeah.
Fake. Now, again, arrested in August, trials in November, he's on bail. On September 27th, Schaefer abducted two teenagers named Susan Place and Georgia Jessup. Now, this guy, by now, he had an alias. That alias was Jerry Shepard. In fact, in this instance, he'd actually gone to Susan's house with those two girls on the last day they were seen, and he actually met Susan's mother.
Yeah, I guess they said his mother thought he was off too.
The mother
Like,
was.
Yeah.
She took his license plate
Right
down.
away. Yep. She put down his license plate number.
So these are two teenagers, and they show up with a guy in his mid-20s.
Right.
Now, these two teenagers, all peace, love, dope, whatever, like hippie kids, and like, hey, man, we're going to go
Have some fun.
get into some zen at the beach, man.
Figure like McConaughey type dude. Pulling
Yeah.
up in the Chevelle. or whatever.
Correct. Wooderson.
Yeah, Wooderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Lincoln.
You know the thing I like about these high school chicks, man? I get older, they stay the same age.
Probably,
you know that?
probably said that to the
Yes,
mom.
they
And
do.
the mom was like, who is this creeper?
Yes, they do.
One thing too, back to like when he got caught. Now I don't know if it has to do with the actual trial or like the sentencing, but he had made a comment about, hey, can we push this out until after the holidays? Is that coming up?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
So both girls were reported missing to the Oakland Park Police 4 days later.
Mm.
Now, because of the alias, the girl's disappearance looked as though it would never be solved.
That's horrible.
Right?
Yeah.
One alias.
He used the name. It was strange.
It's like Pazram, you know what
It's
I mean?
just
Yeah.
like Panzram.
yeah.
Mhm.
On October 26th, again, this guy has a trial coming up. On October 26th, two teenagers, Mary Briscolina and Elsie Farmer, went missing while hitchhiking to a local restaurant. Again, hitchhiking. Their decapitated bodies were found in early 1973 on January 17th and February 15th, respectively, buried 600 feet apart from each other. Now, P.S., that January of 73, that's only a couple of months away.
Yeah.
And that's after he's going to be, he's to report for his trial.
Mm-hmm.
For
That's why-
for the other two chicks.
Yeah.
So stupid that they would let this guy go.
Let him out. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
let him go out on
he's
bail.
a dangerous, to me, dangerous.
When
know
you
what I mean?
do something, I mean, he had they two women should have been killed.
But I guess at this point, they don't know anything about the murders, obviously.
Yeah, but you had nooses around. Like once these ladies made their statement, is it like it's okay to let this guy out?
It's
He's-
the 70s, man.
He's still sticking to that story. Look, I'm a police officer. I get that I was trying to teach these hitchhikers a lesson, and I get that it went too far.
Enough to be immediately fired, immediately everything taken away, your badge, everything. But yeah, I guess if you have the money for bail, Jerry's bail bonds or whatever.
Yep.
Now, it's interesting. Subsequent questioning of friends of Mary's uncovered that a guy named Gary Shepard was an acquaintance of Mary's older sister's boyfriend, and that he, the Gary Shepard guy, had claimed to be an ex-Wilton Manors police officer. Anyways, off to court we go. In December 1972, Schaefer appeared in court and pled guilty to one charge of aggravated assault. He got off with 1 year in jail with the possibility of parole after 6 months. His sentence was to begin just 3 weeks later on January 15th, 1973. So this sentencing was to happen 3 weeks later because he was like, look, man,
The holidays.
the holidays
I
are
need
coming.
some holiday time with the fam.
Look, I just pleaded guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Look, everybody's happy. You got what you got. I got what you wanted, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just do the sentencing after the holidays?
Yeah, let me enjoy it.
One more time around. Let me just get one last holiday in.
Mm-hmm.
On December 23rd, the day after Schaefer was formally sentenced, teenager Suzanne Poole was reported missing. Her disappearance would remain unsolved until her body was discovered on June 16th, 1974, in a swamp.
Yeah, that's that girl I was saying. We were talking before recording that by DNA evidence, they were able to, like, she's been a Jane Doe until June of 2022. And
Very recent.
with new technology, they were able to connect her body to, the DNA from her mother who's in her 90s. And then based on how the body was found, now it was a skeleton when they found it back then.
Sure.
The way she was bound and tied. Now, after everything came out about him.
With like twine or some sort of.
Yeah, they tied the MO to him, and they're like, it was definitely probably one of his victims because of the proximity to where he was operating and everything else. So, yeah.
Freaky deaky.
Yep.
Technology.
What is it?
Well, easy. My friend with technology.
I can't.
What do you say? He doesn't like technology, but he's on the internet, or
Technology. What is it? what is it all about? And he said, you should check out my friend. Like he got, he no technology. He nothing to do with that. You should check out his website.
God bless you, LEG.
Yeah, he's the best.
On January 11th, 1973, hitchhikers Colette Goodenough and Barbara Wilcox went missing while hitchhiking from Sioux City, Iowa to Florida. Phone records indicate that Schaefer had made a long-distance phone call from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, to his Florida home not long before the girl's disappearance. The two bodies would not be found until 4 years later in January of 1977. Now, again, this guy has been sentenced. He's ready to go. He's just like, hey, man, can we wait until after the holidays for me to go to fucking jail?
I got more killing to do.
January 15th, 1973. Schaefer goes to jail. So now in jail, serving 1 year for aggravated assault. Let's not forget the laundry list of missing persons that has accumulated by now, including the two teenagers, Susan Place and Georgia Jessup. Still desperately searching for her daughter, Susan's mom found a letter from the Jerry Shepherd dude she'd been introduced to the day her daughter in Georgia went missing.
Would you say she was desperately seeking Susan?
She was desperately seeking Susan.
Is that Madonna?
Yeah, it was a movie. Yeah.
So she got this letter. She traced the return address to a place that was occupied and rented by Schaefer. So Schaefer's name was actually on the deed or on the rent, the fucking renter's agreement.
Yeah, the lease.
The lease. Thank Jesus Christ.
The deed to the lease.
Yeah. So Schaefer's name is on the lease at this address that's on an envelope that was left by this dude, Jerry Shepherd. So now she's officially now linked the two names together. That one is in fact the other. Susan's mom now positively identified Schaefer as the guy she'd seen in her house, claiming to be Jeff Shepherd.
She knew right away.
She knew. Schaefer, of course, was questioned while in jail, but, of course, deny. Later that year in April, the remains of two girls who'd been bound and murdered were discovered not but 6 miles from where Nancy Trotter and Paula Wells had escaped from Schaefer's bondage. Once the bodies of the girls were identified, Schaefer was informed, and his first words thereafter were requests for a public defender. Now, those two bodies were the two girls, not the original two girls who lived, but the
Suzanne and
the Georgia. Susan and Georgia. P.S. So we'd mentioned Colette Goodenough and
Wilcox.
Colette Goodenough and Barbara Wilcox. Wilcox Goodenough
for
That's
me.
what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Or Goodenough Wilcox. Wilcox Goodenough.
Yeah, Wilcox Goodenough.
All right.
That's some usual suspect shit. Looking at the
Yeah.
names, like putting them together. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So now believing that they're on to Schaefer, the police made their way to Schaefer's house and to his mother's house. Now at Schaefer's house, they found Georgia Jessup's purse, which Schaefer had actually given to his wife as a gift.
That's ballsy.
Yeah. And that Joey Miller did something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he called his wife like immediately or something and was asking to like throw it out or get rid of it or yeah.
So I read that too. Yeah, he called the wife. He was like, "Look, you got to ditch that purse because they're after me. Somebody's after me.
lying about something. Just get rid of it.
Somebody set me up. You got to get rid of that
Joey Miller
purse."
or this guy?
This guy.
Oh, this guy.
This
Okay.
guy.
Yeah.
However, at Schaefer's mom's house, police found a hell of a lot more than just a purse.
Yep.
There they found 2 teeth and a locket belonging to Carmen Halleck, who'd gone missing back in December 1969. They found a gold jewelry box with jewelry, passports, and clothing belonging to several different young women and teenage girls. Within that jewelry box was a gold locket with the name Lee on it. That's Leigh. This was later determined to belong to Lee Bonatti's, who had been missing since September 1969 after she'd called and asked for Schaefer for a ride to the airport. They also found a gold chain and pendant, which belonged to Mary Briscolina, whose decapitated body was found by construction workers in January of that year.
Hey, Tony, look at this over here.
Hey, get the fuck out of here.
Go with me a pizza, man. Come on.
Get the fuck out of here. They found a driver's license and a passport belonging to Barbara Wilcox and Colette Goodenough, respectively, who'd both gone missing not but a few months earlier while hitchhiking from Iowa to Florida. They also found knives, guns, rope, and a shit ton of porno mags. Now, not just any porno mags. These porno mags had been enhanced with clippings and other illustrations to portray the women therein as if they'd been hanging from trees while urinating.
So he was like doctoring them or something.
Yeah, think about that. You get a porno mag, right? And you're looking at a naked chick. Now you're going to start clipping out pictures of other stuff, taping that into this porno mag to make this chick look like she's
like a
hanging from a tree while pissing herself.
Yeah, he did a lot of drawings that they showed like afterwards and stuff. They have them on the online if you want to look. But it's a lot of like he has a lot of like crosses, trees, a lot of women like with their lower extremities missing. Most of them are bound like with stuff like cutting into like big breasts.
So he's like doing like Photoshop.
Yeah,
Photoshop.
Yeah. He these drawings were very graphic and just weird.
That is weird.
Still at his mom's house, they found 37 black and white Polaroids of women being mutilated and hung. They found photos and illustrations of Schaefer himself dressed in women's clothes, crying over you.
Yeah.
Hanging from a tree with feces spread across his own ass cheeks. So that's a photo of him.
That's weird.
Hanging
He's like
from
BDK. Remember that guy? BDK would do that shit.
That's fucking crazy.
He's into like women's clothes, scatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And weird shit.
Now, I'm curious, was it his feces or somebody else's feces? Could have been like deer poop or something. Yeah. Alligator poop.
I mean, that's the worst feeling if you don't wipe good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God, yeah.
And then
what is that? It's not even like swamp ass. It's like a whole different.
I don't know what
it's
the
an
fuck
inverted.
It's like tribal ass.
It's
like
like
put
a
markings, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like they're going to war. It's war paint for your ass. It's like, think of Dances with Wolves, and the Indians are painting themselves up. Yeah, but it's for ass play.
Ass play.
Yeah. What did grown men do before, like real, or women also before, like the wet wipes? Like what were we doing before then?
Well, we grew up without wet wipes.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm saying we used the toilet paper, but there was
have bang snaps back then.
Yeah, that was like unclean, unfresh feelings. Bang snaps all in your drawers.
Mud butt.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Bang snaps.
All right. All right. So after that, wait. So again,
we need to get bang snaps.
Jesus Christ.
This little pop. Yeah, that's a sound effect right there if you can find it.
Getting a visual.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, now, what is the bang snap reference?
When you wipe your ass,
I know what the bang snaps are.
When it's dry, they get like they look like bang snaps on the toilet paper.
Are you talking about the balls? You like roll the stick on your ass hair?
You get a little.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They look just like the little bang snaps because
they are little, but they're there.
Yeah, it can't take the hard wiping.
I got you. I got it. Okay, bang snaps. All right. Oh yeah, still at his mom's house. Now wait for it. Here it comes. Finally, they had found a 300-page collection of nothing shy of explicit stories and doodles written by Schaefer himself, which told multiple tales of abducting, raping, and murdering women, many of which by hanging. He'd identified all of the victims in these stories as harlots, whores, and sluts, and even went so far as to identify two by name, Belinda and Carmen.
And were they victims, like actual victims then?
Capital C for correct.
Oh, shit.
May 12th, 1973. Schaefer was linked to 9 murders and disappearances. All but 2 hailed from Florida. The remaining 2 were those 2 broads from Iowa.
Now, as Zap was going through that list and explaining like teeth, lockets, the guy had rings, jewelry, like you said, the pictures they found. These guys and most of the murderers that we do talk about and these crazy people, they like keeping things to look at. And then you said like to go back, maybe he gets off on those again or thinks back and just holds on to something, which is like
replays it in his mind.
In his mind.
Yep. No, that's true. I mean, we've seen that before. Keepsakes.
Yeah, you just can't let go of it.
Forget-me-nots.
I mean, he wouldn't have been charged with 6 or 7 more of these. Like they wouldn't have no idea.
No,
but he had it right there.
I had to keep something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever. Lesson learned, future serial killers of America. Don't keep the memorabilia. Ditch that shit.
Get rid of it, yeah.
On May 18th, 1973, that's 6 days after the linkage, Schaefer was officially charged with the first-degree murder and slayings of Susan Place and Georgia Jessup, and was held, this time, without bail.
About time.
After a short stint in the state hospital, psychiatric examinations concluded that he was fit to stand trial, despite suffering from psychosis, paranoia, and acute sexual deviation.
I wonder what they just from his pictures and
didn't
his
sound cute to me at all.
pictures and
You know, he saw a therapist or someone when he was younger and told him about all that shit, and nothing really came of it. Like, I have these, you know, these fantasies.
thoughts of
and
like
this and that.
strangulation
Yeah.
and
But it was like the 70s or 60s, maybe even.
Yeah.
Maybe they were just like,
well, they seen those a lot in those they were fantasized about in those magazines those kids used to read in the 60s and 70s. Those
like
look here, Shane.
the crime ones.
Yeah, the crime. Yeah,
Yeah.
there were some other guys that were into that.
Ed Gein was into those. Yeah.
Yep.
But that was the thing. Like, kids grew up looking at that stuff, so it wasn't odd or for a psych doctor to hear about that.
Yeah, you wonder where the torture shit came from, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I don't get that either. It is curious.
But that's like a normal thing too. Like a lot of like the strangulation, like, you know, girls saying like choke me or something like that, you know, like
That's a dominance thing. Maybe it's just a dominance thing.
or like
You know,
like a
to
role
dominate.
playing thing. But I mean, that stuff's still around. It's
Yeah.
not like it's just some people.
Different levels.
Yes.
Dude, I saw that in a movie once.
Mm-hmm.
The first time. Oh, actually, no. You know what it was? It was Casino.
Oh, yeah.
So in
It's a good flick.
Casino, when Joe Pesci's character is banging
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone, like while they're doing it, the first time they're doing it, whatever, it's like at the very beginning of their relationship, as they're doing it, like he's reaching up and like he's holding on to her neck and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I tried that with this broad once. She was like,
gave you the
hey,
schlapola?
look, don't fucking do that. Okay, no problem. I saw it in a movie. I thought it was cool.
We all know a guy, and I don't know if you remember the story. Maybe even you would know if he told you. I remember hearing the story that he had a girlfriend that would want him to break into they were in college or wherever they were at. I don't know what was going on. And he said that she would say, like, just come in through the window and like, I'm going to have the lights out. And basically that was her thing. And he would do it because she was just into that. It was like a role playing thing.
But there's services also like that, like on the, I don't know if it's even on the dark web, but you can find it on the internet where like a guy or something will come and kidnap you like outside of like work or whatever, or
right.
outside of your house, like throw you in a car and
Like,
take
like
you
an
somewhere.
escape room and
Like
shit.
the game.
Yeah, and
Remember the
like
game? Yeah.
yeah, like your husband's there and like he'll tie you up and do whatever, blindfold you and like on a old mattress on the floor and some shit like that. But people are, I mean, it's not so far fetched. I mean, if it's done in a way that
No, that's fucked up is what that is.
no, but people fantasize about shit like
yeah,
that.
they're fucked up.
It's
And
weird.
look at BDSM. Like people pay people for that stuff.
They
all
too
the time.
are fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. That's
In a controlled scenario,
Yeah.
all things are okay.
get the so fine. Whatever, man. Whatever. On September 19th, 1973, after all of that shit, the trial began. Schaefer pleaded not guilty, and oddly, his attorney requested to not present his opening statement until after the state had rested its case. Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, so now this trial commences, right? And so now we got details galore. I mean, the prosecution had everything. They had Place's parents identified Schaefer and their daughter's purse, which had been in the possession of Schaefer's wife.
Yeah, all the shit he had was right there in
Yeah,
his mom's house. Like everything.
they had that whole laundry list of the shit that was in his mom's house. They had doctors come in describing the dismemberment and the multiple knife wounds of the two victims. They had the actual tree limbs from which the victims had been hung. They had gotten a hold of an instruction guide written by Schaefer himself as to how to properly execute women. The two broads that got away, Nancy Trotter and Pamela Wells, those two showed up at the trial to testify against this guy just from a character perspective.
And that was ballsy of them to show up. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that was them like, look, if this is our chance to get this guy behind fucking bars, we're
That's
going to fucking do
closure.
it.
You see a lot of that in court cases, criminal cases where they're like, you know what, I don't care.
I'm just going in. And that was very brave of them, you know.
So, Matt, you had very aptly mentioned not long ago about during your conversation of keepsakes, forget-me-not, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think still fresh in our mind is that the Joey Miller thing where he would go back to where the victims were. I remember Chief Darrell telling us this.
Yeah.
He would dig up the bones, rub one out, and, ejaculate onto the bones or the dead carcass or some shit like that. They also went back to this scene. This is during this whole trial, and had actually said basically the same thing. So he buried these girls, and then he would go back, dig up the graves, do his chronic masturbation thing into the graves, and then throw the dirt back onto them.
Jeez.
Like it was, they had basically said, like, look, the way that dirt should have settled, these graves have been dug into at least twice.
That's where, like, these people say, like, when they die, like, people want to go back, like, I just want to pick their brain. I want to get in there, because the scenario is going on inside your mind to even do what you did.
Mm.
But to go back, like you said, to dig up numerous times, like pieces of bone or fragment or like a tooth or a ring that went, like, to get your mind back in these places for that to arouse you. Like, I don't understand where your mind's at.
Yeah, it's hard to
Can't even comprehend. Yeah, you can't comprehend it.
That's it. Comprehend. That's what I was trying to think of.
Because like some people, like, you feel bad if you watch like a mom and daughter type porn.
Yeah, it's got stepmom.
I gotta skip that. Like, stepmommy's feeling bad or something. You're like,
Wait. There's nothing wrong with stepmom porn.
Right.
There is no.
Did Howard Stern say something like that? He's like, I found myself like a normal guy. He's looking at like the stepmom stuff. He's like, I gotta get off that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, like, people, like, you feel guilty for some stuff in life, and
I
like,
don't.
I feel
Look,
that.
I'm saying I think the stepmom porn thing is okay. I'm not going to say I'm a big fan.
No, yeah,
I'm going to say that that is better than.
It's done tastefully than digging up bones.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but
No, that's better than paying somebody to abduct me and then tie me up. And so, you know what I'm saying?
Or like a BDSM type scenario
type
where
shit.
you're like tied up or
Brutal master.
But no, but that became popular with what was that called? 50 Shades of Grey or whatever.
Yeah.
Like all the girls are in there like, oh, what's that? Like,
Yeah, all of a sudden now.
So yeah, that's something to explore, but like done
Tastefully.
tastefully, or to like where you got like a safe word or whatever. You know, people do that these days and stuff also. But that's what I mean. For any of us to hear something like that, who's grown up with, I guess, to say, I don't know what everybody's doing out there, but like a normal sex life where you do like maybe like a tie up or something, like, try handcuffs or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff out. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, even like blindfold or something, whatever.
I have a whole new opinion on you, man.
Yeah.
And I think
What, you think like blindfold or handcuffs is something like crazy?
I think there are going to be a lot of questions asked outside of this podcast.
No, I'm just saying, like, you can see stuff that is normal, that normal people do.
Right.
And then there's stuff where just you can't even think. It's just crazy.
Usually when I'm vacuuming and stuff, or like doing dishes, or if I'm cooking, that's like a big turn on. Usually she's like, man, you look so hot right now, when I'm doing chores.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Like, keep doing that. You know what I mean? That type stuff. That works, guys.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Like dishes, some lawn work. Or she comes home to a clean house, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, like
the kids get a movie for that one.
if you're smart, you lay there watching Netflix, and then you see right when they're about to get in, you jump up and start dusting and stuff. Right when they walk in the door.
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
What have you been doing all day?
Did you just get home? I didn't see you come in.
Be sure to watch the Ring.
The doorbell.
The Ring doorbell. Yeah.
Just some little hints from the basement.
Yep.
Gentle reminder: there is nothing wrong with stepmom porn.
Nope.
Yes.
There's
nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong.
No.
On September 26th, 1973, 1 week later, after 5 hours and 10 minutes of deliberation, the jury found Schaefer guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. 5 hours, 10 minutes.
I was going to say the same thing until I seen that. Yes.
I'm surprised it took that fucking long.
That's like an hour and 15. Let's go get lunch.
Easy.
Hurry up.
Yeah,
Maybe-
absolutely.
Might took 4 hours for the food to get there or something. Maybe
But you always got that guy that doesn't want to get back to work.
Yeah. He's like, screw it.
He's like, man, it's pretty early, man. Come on, can we at least get like the free lunch, maybe dinner out of this deal?
Or could have been one guy that was just like, there's nothing wrong with like this kinky stuff, like doing this, doing that.
Right? Like, who the hell is this
Making
guy?
it a hung jury.
Yeah.
Get your extra $9 a day.
Yeah.
No, I'm waiting to get like I want to get called to like that case where they keep you in like the nice like the Holiday Inn for like months. While you're just always be that guy like sitting there eating like a really good burger. Like I don't know, man. It's like we got to give this another week.
I don't know. You tell me, really, what's wrong with binding up and gagging and strangling women?
Yeah.
This one's easy. I'm just saying like one of them ones like
Is it, Matt?
like the OJ trial. I would have been there for another year, man.
Just let it milk it.
That was a tough one.
He would have. I
He
wonder.
didn't even do it. The guy even admitted to it.
Yeah, that
I
other
wonder-
guy.
I wonder. I wonder how long it would have taken for that trial to go, for those lawyers, the Kardashian, Johnny Cochran, to just milk OJ for every last penny he would have had in legal fees.
Yeah. And AJ did it.
Why
AJ
did
did it. That's right.
Yeah.
AJ did
I
it.
heard they didn't even like take that much from him because of the popularity they gained. It was just like a huge commercial for them guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at how well it did for his daughters,
Yep.
Yeah,
Kardashian's daughters.
Yeah.
well, they're all billionaires or half of them. What a world!
All right. So, dude got found guilty on October 3rd, 1973. Schaefer requested to be sent to a psychiatric hospital. Instead, he was sentenced to 2 life terms. All right. Off to prison we go. Fun fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
His defense attorney married his, Schaefer's, second wife 2 months after he went to prison.
that's when it doesn't really mean anything to the story, but it is a fun fact. Like,
It
it's
is
like,
fun, yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
This guy gets locked up. Well, so he was complaining like, my God, dude, I didn't get a fair. This is after the fact. He's like, oh man, my lawyer fucked me, man. I didn't get a good. I didn't get a good trial. I didn't have a chance. I mean, hell, my lawyer married my fucking wife, my now ex-wife, 2 months after I got here.
I heard that attorney had a good pickup line on her. He's like, I couldn't get him off, but I can get you off.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, maybe.
But like this attorney too, like he seems like a weird cat. Like,
Yeah.
what would? Yeah. Oh, you were with this murderer.
He's a weird dude.
That's
And
pretty
again,
cool.
I mean, I'd have to talk to JW about this, but why would he request to not present his opening statement until after the state had rested its case? It seems just so fucking weird.
That is. Yeah.
Almost as weird as marrying your client's ex-wife 2 months after he goes into the prison.
Mm.
But anyway, so while there, old Schaefer continued to plead his innocence. And I wonder, at least from the beginning, he was pleading his innocence. And I wonder, did he think he was right in what he was doing? Performing, we talked about priest stuff and shit like
There
that.
was
But
that religious aspect.
yeah,
of it,
did he think he was doing the Lord's work?
Yep. Because he had that complex. I don't even think we brought it up yet. That his mother kind of instilled in him you have women and whores. You have there's no in between.
Right.
If you're a virgin, you're good. You know what I mean? If you have sex at all, almost like you're a whore, you're a slut, you know what I mean? There's no gray
That's how
area in between.
Ed Gein came up that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And it was just the mother thing.
Okay. All right. Well, ultimately, he later confessed to not just these 2, but a number of other murders as well. Fun fact. While he was in prison, he requested that people mail him women's panties.
Mm.
He actually got busted for that a number of times.
Really?
He was putting out public campaigns, or somehow, if people would come to interview him,
Mhm.
during
your
the
panties.
interview, he would say, knowing that it was going to get in the newspaper or something, he's like, "Hey man, if anybody's reading this, be sure to send me a pair of underpants to the ladies' underpants, underwear,
Size 14.
Yeah.
Used, please. Used, please.
Use,
Yeah.
please. Yeah. Long day at the gym.
Yeah.
Extra.
Don't wash them. Yeah, send them out.
So while this guy was in prison, he was often suspected by other inmates of being a rat in order to gain favors from the guards. In fact, 10 years later, in 1983, Schaefer assisted authorities in obtaining sufficient evidence to convict fellow inmate Mervyn Cross of pedophilia. This guy, Mervyn, had actually been operating an international softcore child pornography operation while he was incarcerated.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing he did at least.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But yeah, sure.
Yeah. One
So,
good thing.
There you go. Well, here's another good thing. On December 3rd, 1995, Schaefer was stabbed to death. This dude was found with 40 stabs to the head, face, neck, and body. His right eye was completely mutilated. His throat was slashed, and he had several fractured ribs. Now, this dude was murdered by fellow inmate Vincent Rivera. According to other prisoners' testimony, the two had quarreled over who was to receive the final cup. I'm sorry, the last. No, let's do this all again. According to other prisoners' testimony, the two had quarreled over who was to receive the final cup of hot water from the day from a dispenser. Rivera never gave a motive, but it is suspected that Schaefer was killed for being a prison informant.
Rat.
That's crazy. Well, he got what he deserved, I guess.
No, sorry about that.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay. I say he got what he deserved at least.
ASMR.
ASMR, yeah. Stroke that mic. I like when you guys hit it and it sounds like the church bell. I don't know how you do it, but every now and then it's like ding. When I play it back, I gotta edit it.
Oh,
It sounds like during church. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
You're going to have to listen so acutely to this
Did you alter boy at all?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
to edit out whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
some of the shit, like when you play it back, it's not as bad. You're like, fuck it. You think like some of it'll go, some of it won't. But yeah, there was some fun facts I had on this guy. I was talking to you earlier about that current affair thing from January of '92.
Did you say whoomp?
Yep.
Yeah. What was that sound effect again?
It was like,
There it is. Yeah. Current affair. So, like you had mentioned about the book or him writing stuff down, like a book almost that he was trying to push.
So the one part I didn't want to get in. I'm sorry, I didn't. It's not like I didn't want to. I didn't
really come up. Yeah.
I didn't find it that factual, actual, necessary to convey the story that he ended up wanting to write a book called
Right.
Killer Fiction,
Mm-hmm.
and he had somehow, some way, if I recall correctly, he had somehow gained the help or incorporated an old friend of his.
A high school.
There was
girlfriend.
a girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
This girlfriend was Sandra London,
Mhm.
and they had dated like briefly when he was like 17. And he had told her, and I think another girlfriend as well, but definitely her. She had said on this interview on Current Affair, he had told her like, I have this urge to kill women, and told her that at like a young age. And she was like, I'm out of here. Basically dumped him or whatever.
Urge Overkill.
Urge overkill, right?
Good band.
So she ended up, I guess, taking some of those stories that he had written out because he was trying to get somebody to publish this book. Nobody would touch it. So it ended up when she got involved and she befriended him while he was in prison. And actually, I think they got back together and were dating. Or
Yeah, they were
engaged.
dating. Yeah.
And she actually got this book published. It was 1996. It was called Feral House is the name of the publishing. And you can find it. You look on Amazon and all that. He had told her in prison that he had made comments about that we were talking about the Everglades, about the alligator meat and all that, basically saying like you can get rid of bodies. Like he would go back and forth. He would say things that were like, obviously you did this, and he go, well, I didn't kill anybody, and he would like go back and forth on it. So you can never really tell if he was telling the truth or not. But she had left him then for another serial killer, which I thought was pretty funny.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they had dated, or they had gotten back together. I think they were engaged, and then she had left him for like another serial killer.
Jesus Christ.
Let me find. I have the name here somewhere.
That's so weird. Well, there you go, Matt. People are into that shit.
So Sandra London was briefly engaged to him in 1991, but left him for Danny Rawlings. He was the Gainesville Ripper. He was another serial killer in Florida.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's so bananas.
Wasn't he in Black Flag?
Ooh.
He might have been.
No, that's Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins, yeah. He had quotes like
Minor Threat.
Yes.
Minor Threat. He had quotes about, did you ever see that Minor Threat shirts, the Golden Girls instead of Minor Threat guys, and they're sitting on the porch on the album cover?
No.
It's like a kick-ass T-shirt.
I just remember the one kind of looks like Dave right there, but he had the
Yeah,
bald head.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they took that album cover, Minor Threat, and put the Golden Girls on the. You have to look that up.
Are you serious?
I'll post it on our Facebook page.
Oh
I
my
think
God,
people
that's
would like
fantastic.
to see that.
The only Minor Threat shirt or any picture I can ever remember is the field of all these white sheep.
Yeah.
And then there's just like one black
sheep.
one.
Yep, yep. He made a quote. Here's like one of his quotes. This guy was disturbed. Doing doubles is far more difficult than doing singles. But on the other hand, it also puts one in a position to have twice as much fun. So basically, that's why he would always kill him in
the pairs.
twos. Yeah.
Jesus
But
Christ.
yeah, that was the book he had was Killer Fiction. It was short stories, and a lot of the stuff that it went and it had pieces of the murders that he actually did commit in there, and it's called it Killer Fiction. But they had a lot of his drawings and things in there that I said like before were disturbing, like a lot of women being mutilated, but he was into this, and this was something that he put into this book that was published, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But he admitted to crimes in there, up to 34 killings, I think.
God
is
damn.
what he had in these books.
So he met two that I know of, because you have the one serial killers in prison. When he was obsessed with like Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
So he met Ted Bundy in prison, and in the Current Affair interview, he was talking about this interaction. When he met Bundy, Bundy asked him, "Is it true you have 34, or do you have graves they don't know about?" He was worried about his lead on bodies at 36, so Bundy had 36. He didn't want this guy to pass him. You know what I mean? These guys are competitive, I guess.
I bet if he did, then Bundy would have been killing more prisoners.
He would have tried to get out.
Yeah.
Or Bundy would have just said something more like, "Oh,
Just
well, I
lied
had."
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where a lot of the alleged comes in a lot of these stories we say.
And who was the other guy you said?
He was a convicted serial killer, Otis Toole, and this was the man that confessed to Adam's murder. And that was Adam Walsh, was the young boy who they found. Remember, there's a whole thing, I think in the 80s, it made me like scared shitless for about like a month or two.
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, but before that, they had a movie about this Adam Walsh kid who was abducted and found in like some kind of sewage type system.
Dude, so that was a made-for-TV movie.
Yes,
And
yes.
It was on one of the three majors at the time.
NBC, yeah.
So
We were probably in like 5th or 6th grade,
dude,
something like that.
I remember seeing that and also being scared shitless.
Yes.
And then, man, you know what? You want to talk about somebody who turned, I mean, I don't want to say lemon into lemonade, but I mean, that's a terrible analogy.
Yeah,
but he turned just tragedy into triumph
Yeah.
with America's Most Wanted.
And how many people they called on that
Oh
show?
my
Just
God,
from people, and that was before, like you said, the internet, getting it out there on TV where people would tune in every week
And see it
to
there.
see
Like,
these
oh.
pictures. Like, I know that, or he works at the food store down the street, or he's at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You start to connect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this prison had Ted Bundy, Otis O'Toole, and my man Schaefer.
Miles O'Toole.
That's a hella prison. Otis, was that that was the singer from the band in Animal House?
Yeah. And
Otis.
Also, Otis. Yeah.
Otis
Animal House.
Toole, not O'Toole, just Otis Toole.
Otis Toole. So I got a little bit of statistics here. So 72, when this is from Florida Department of Law Enforcement. So 1972 in Florida, population was basically 7.5 million. There were 944 murders, 1,919 forcible sex offenses,
Dang.
40,200 total violent crimes. So that puts you at a violent crime rate per 100,000 at about 541.1 per 100,000 for violent crimes. So I was curious, like 72, when this guy was kind of doing his thing, like how common it was for that type of shit to go on. 2020, we're at 21,000,005, so almost triple the population.
Mm-hmm.
1,293 murders versus 944, so not that big of a jump. 7,655 forcible sex offenses, so that's quite a bit more, 6 or 7 times.
Is this nationally or just Chicago?
This is just for Florida.
Oh.
Did you see Chicago? Jesus.
Total violent crimes are 83,290 in 2020, but the violent crime rate per 100,000 is 385.7, so actually doing better.
Yeah.
Now that's as of 2020.
I'm seeing things. So if I see population triple, so if population goes up by 300%, which is mathematically the thing, but then your next, what's the next one?
The murders.
The murders only went up by 30%.
Right.
So I say, God bless you, Florida.
Yeah, they're doing well.
God bless you, Governor DeSantis.
Florida has some weird criminals.
You've got
though.
my vote.
Yeah.
There's usually something that pops up on the Chive about like what happened in Florida today.
Oh, really?
They show like some of the stuff these guys do, like go into a convenience store, try to rob them with like a shoe and stuff like that.
They
I mean,
do
they're mostly all
wild shit.
crackheads,
Right.
most of them, but
There's one thing I would love to look up in the meantime, or maybe somebody can mailbag it.
Mailbag.
So this guy went behind bars. This guy stopped in 72. I'd love to know, like, from year over year, from 72 to 73, disappearances. Like, did they go down because this guy is
This
now
guy's
in jail?
now going. Yeah.
I wonder.
I was trying to look for those numbers because that's what I was most curious is like
Sure.
is number of like 72 murders versus disappearances, because how many of those disappearances were actually murders that
Right.
they just didn't solve or haven't solved till
I'm sure
so
like
much later.
the local FBI or whatever there has like an actuary or something that puts these numbers that does.
Shit,
There's
yeah.
somebody there doing these, like
That-
like you said.
Shit,
Kind of
yeah.
figuring the numbers out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey guys, can you wrap it up?
Oh, hey, now I guess that's a
Alright.
sign for you guys to wrap it up
Yeah,
here.
it's getting
get
late.
going.
It's getting late in the basement.
Sorry for keeping you, man. Sorry. for keeping you.
It's cool. It's
You know,
cool.
So all in all, man, I don't want to say that this was, good or, great or whatever, obviously given the subject matter, but I don't know, this was certainly a compelling story. And this was one hell of a creepy dude.
I agree. Yeah.
I like how you said, you were saying something a little different. Like we didn't know the murders and stuff or the weirdness this guy was into, but it was more compelling than like a all out like killing spree type story.
There was a story behind the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was very interesting to me, and as you got deeper into the story, it was interesting how much this guy compares to other guys we covered, like Dahmer, or like any of these other serial that they keep
Like
trophies
keepsakes and trophy,
and just have this fetishes and it's just all
Stuff
kind
that
of
excites them to the point where they have to dig stuff up again just to get that piece back.
yeah.
Crazy.
It still blows my mind that this guy somehow, some way was able to finagle himself a job as a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
That just blows my mind.
Again, the background, there was no background checks. There was no, all you had to do, probably like your mom wrote a letter. Like he's a good worker.
Yeah.
He's a hard worker.
Oh,
hire him.
one thing I had neglected to mention, I know that when he applied for his second job, his second police officer job, so while this was during license plate gate, again, he applied for the next job. He faked a letter of recommendation from his first employer.
First employee.
From the first police station.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Surprised he didn't get a promotion for that. When he was helping those girls out. You know what I mean? Back then, they probably would have.
But it
thought
was,
he was doing good or something like that.
It was compelling, Zap. Thank you. And I did learn that stepmother porn, you don't have to feel guilty for that.
No.
No,
out there.
not-
So
not-
that is
In fact, stepmother porn is encouraged.
Yep.
not discouraged on this show.
No.
Thank you.
It's healthy. It's very healthy.
So if there's anybody out there doing stepmother porn, please call into the mailbag.
Yeah.
We have our friend Marty.
Yeah. That was
Call on in.
comment
If you can call in, go ahead.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of which, don't forget to rate our show on Spotify. You can go in there now, leave comments. You can leave, we can do polls on there. You can also leave comments like our friend Marty did from Erie.
I thought you were going to say about the poll.
Yeah, get on the poll. But there is a poll on we can create a poll on each episode.
Yeah.
I created one during the Vintage Cinema review of Batman, which I don't know if anybody even voted on it, but I can go in for each episode. But Spotify, go on there, leave us a 5-star rating. Apple Podcasts, 5-star rating, written review like our boy Officer Vince. And another guy, Brian, left a nice review just today I saw. So those are starting to come in. We appreciate that. And it really helps us out. So any little bit helps. And we'd appreciate it. So
Awesome.
don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement and on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. And I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.